So I'll say, hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, actually, you know what? I just realized, hold on, I messed up. Let me fix this. I change my name every time. So I'll just change. I already had this one. I'll change it to this show. Genuinely cringing at this show. Okay, here we go. So I'll say, hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. I'm so glad you're here. You guys, I'm a happy goose today. Why am I so happy? Because I am joined by none other than Revealing the Narc. You know, I love her. I've worked with her many times before. And we both, I think, felt this need to work together to get through this cringy show with Love Meghan. So please welcome my friend, Revealing the Narc. How are you?
Hi, Jen. I'm great. I'm glad to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. You're one of the ones that can make this blank show better, in my opinion.
Oh, well, that's a huge compliment.
So I thought, you know what? I thought if you felt like it, we're both about the same point in the series. We could just come on, have a conversation about our general thoughts, how it's going, how we're handling it, maybe some coping mechanisms, some of our high points, some of our low points, things like that. If you're up for it.
The best coping mechanism is the off button.
Yes, you're right. You're right. So I don't know what day this will go up, but in real time, the series hit yesterday on Tuesday. Today is Wednesday when we're recording this. So I'm excited to talk to you about all this. Now, I do have to start off. Well, first of all, you have an amazing channel. I talk about that. You're doing so well. It's just booming, and I couldn't be more proud of you. That's incredible. Tell us about your channel. What is there something we can watch and support for you on your channel?
Oh, well, thank you. So
Mhm.
I can't believe how fast I'm growing also. And really all of this just started because I would notice Megan's mannerisms and she just can't hide her
Mhm.
narcissism like at all. She reminds me a lot of my stepmom who is a malignant narcissist, and that's why I always say that I think that Megan's a malignant narcissist, but of course I'm not a therapist and this is just my preliminary, just what I see and gather evidence. So yeah, basically on my channel I talk a lot about her narcissism, and it's usually I approach it from a romantic relationship because when I'm analyzing Megan, it's her response to being with Harry, basically. But I just like to talk about narcissism. And the newest video I did, I recently had an experience where I went into what's called the fawn response. And I think that's something that many of us have done, but don't have a word to describe it. So that's a video that's going to go out. I'll probably publish it today. And yeah, I think it would be really interesting to hear feedback from other people, hear other people's experiences. It's just so important to talk about.
I think
And
so.
yeah, so and we have such a beautiful community. There's
Mhm.
so much support, and yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
going on with me.
I'm sorry you went through that, but I think it's incredible that you're using it because I really think that will help other people. So good for
Yeah.
you for
Thank you.
powering through that. Yeah, absolutely. And we will fully support you no matter what. And absolutely we'll watch your video and look forward to seeing all of your takes on everything, honestly, and watching you grow. It's just been incredible. So congratulations on the huge growth and well deserved. And I'm always shouting you out because like even on my live streams, because you have this knack for finding these moments. And Megan, I'll watch a video 100 times and I'm focused maybe on something a little different. And then you find these moments where she is just, I don't know how else to describe, just a monster. I don't know.
Someone once one of the Sussex squad commented something like, "How many hours of footage do you go through to do this?" And it's like 5 seconds. Like it's
Incredible.
literally it happens so often. My phone is full. Like
Oh, uh-huh.
there's just so much. So
That's incredible.
it's
Well,
not that much effort.
okay. But you have such a personality and a knack for it, for finding it, and, I just think it's incredible what you've done, and I love to see even on, like I follow, of course, on social media, but on Twitter, you post these just quick clips, and I'm just blown away. I really am. I show them sometimes here, and I'm just like, "Guys, look at what Revealing the Narc found. I didn't notice this," so I think it's really cool what you're doing.
I actually talked about you the other day. I was going through the People magazine article, I think it was, and
Uh-huh.
at one point, the word flock was used, and I was like, "I wonder if this is, like,
That's
some
funny.
sort of nod to Jen." And, of course, People magazine, we know it's her people, but
Yeah.
I just yeah, it
I
would be
love
great.
it. I'll take it. That's right. Maybe they're sick of her too, and they're joining the flock. Honk honk, right? That's funny. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you for the nod. I appreciate that. Well, if you don't mind, I would like to get into the series, but before we do, I was just right before going to record this sent a video of Megan being very Megan-like. I believe it just came out today. So if you don't mind, I'd like to get your just on the fly reaction to it. And of course, it's yours to do with what you want. If you want to take it back to your channel and further react, whatever you want. But I thought we could just take a look real quick and react if that's okay with you. And then we'll get into our thoughts on the series.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so I'll just hit play. This is from the Drew Barrymore show, from what I understand. And I haven't actually watched the whole interview, just this clip. And I want to give a shout out to that one on Twitter because they're the one that had shared it originally. So thank you, that one. And let's take a look. It'll take just a second.
I always make it a point when I'm traveling, if I can't do bedtime stories with my kids, because Archie and Lily are just 3 and 5, so I'll always pack a really thin book and I'll videotape myself reading it. So whoever's with them, or Papa can say, here's Mama reading your bedtime story. You find ways to show up for each other. And if that's the one thing that I can convey through the show or through As Ever as a brand, I want people to know you can show up for each other because you know how good it feels when someone shows up for you.
So that was a lot to hit you with. If you'd like me to play again, I'm more than happy to. Or if you want to just go with your initial thoughts, whatever you want.
Let's watch it one more time.
Absolutely. No problem at all. I would just call your attention to whoever's with them or Papa. That seems to be a big misstep, I would think. Here we go.
I always make it a point when I'm traveling, if I can't do bedtime stories with my kids, because Archie and Lily are just 3 and 5, so I'll always pack a really thin book and I'll videotape myself reading it. So whoever's with them, or Papa can say, here's Mama reading your bedtime story. You find ways to show up for each other. And if that's the one thing that I can convey through the show or through As Ever as a brand, I want people to know you can show up for each other because you know how good it feels when someone shows up for you.
Yeah. So if it would help you, I can play just 10 seconds at a time. Would that be easier, more digestible chunks, or you just want to tell me your overall thoughts? What's good for you?
Let's do overall thoughts. So the first thing I
Okay.
noticed actually is that in the beginning, when she's
Mhm.
talking about having the book with her, she
Mhm.
has that duper's delight smile. That's what it looks like to me. She thinks she's fooling the audience. Now, I'm not saying that Archie and Lily don't exist. I what I noticed was her smile. Look at that smile. Like she's
Yep.
suppressing I don't know. That's what I see.
Mhm.
So I don't believe she carries a really thin book and does this.
Nope. I
I
don't.
I don't believe that for a second. And if this is the truth, even if it was, which I don't think it is, how sad is that? That this
Mhm.
is kind of a routine that
Yes,
she's learned to carry a really thin book. And why does she have to specify that it's a really thin book?
exactly.
Doesn't she have Kindle?
Yes, exactly. You can't Google a story passage on your phone, something? Yeah, no.
And I
And
mean,
it
Megan is perfect at everything. Can't she just make up a story? She makes up stories all the time.
That's right, exactly. That's absolutely. And so then the justification would be what? That it's the child's favorite book? Then you've got their favorite book with you. They don't have it. Are you buying 2 copies of every book? You can't make sense out of that part. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and it's weird to also say you show up for people, and
Mhm.
she's relating that to reading a book to her children. You don't
While not showing up. Yeah.
and the thing is though, like, that's not showing up for your children.
Exactly.
That's what a mother does. Like, you could show up for your friends, you could show up for your colleagues,
Mhm.
but you nurture your children. It's
That's
just weird to connect those 2 things.
Mhm. I couldn't
And how
agree
is it
more.
related to As Ever? So
It's
you
not.
sprinkle flowers on their beds or what?
That's right. You put cold towels on their heads when they're laying down. I don't covered in lavender. I don't know. I don't know. I can't make any sense out of that whatsoever. I thought that was the weirdest leap to be made. I can't make sense out of it.
And you're right about the whoever's there with them.
Yes.
Like, what are
That
the
was so
options?
weird. Whoever, and then she caught herself and said, "Papa," like, okay. Mhm.
But if it's not, because I thought it was always Doria, so wouldn't she say my
Gloria.
mom
Uh-huh. Yeah.
or, you know, my
Oh, I
host
don't think
H?
Doria's watch I figured it'd be nannies, right? I mean, I would think Doria wants to do her own thing. They probably have a I'm just guessing. Do they have a deal going on? Like, all right, you show up for this event, I'll try you out when I need you. Otherwise, we're good?
Yeah, I just know that in stories, usually Megan always says, "Oh, my mom's with them," or like
Mhm.
when she was talking about when she went back home for Invictus in that People magazine article, she was
Mm.
saying, "Oh, my mom was watching them, and then I went and took chicken soup or bone broth or whatever it was that she
Uh-huh.
said." So
Huh.
it's it's just it's just I think another falsehood that
That's what
that
I
she's
think.
trying to sell.
I think so too. I think it's the story because then it's more of a loving family to combat the you've estranged from all your family, both sides. So I just don't, yeah, I don't believe it.
Yeah, why don't do you want to do it in 10 seconds in 10-second
Yeah.
increments?
Let's do that. Let me back it up for 1 second. Here we go.
I always make it a point when I'm traveling, if I can't do bedtime stories with my kids, because Archie and Lily are just 3 and 5, so I'll always pack a really thin book.
Okay, so that's the first 10 seconds. Any other thoughts on that? We talked about the smile, thin book, saying the kids' names, kids' ages.
I
Um,
mean, it's just weird how she's so displaced from the children,
yes.
right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just odd behavior.
Yeah, I totally, totally agree with you. And even in this story, if you ask me, I do have a child, and if you ask me about my child, I'm not making myself the center of that story. I was reading this book to my daughter about this thing and that thing, and I felt like, I packed this book. It's my kid really loves it when we read this book together, because that's just what you do. I just can't. She's made herself the focal point.
Mhm. Yeah, as
It's not
always.
that I'm shocked, it's just yeah. It's so weird. Okay, here's 10 more seconds, here we go.
And I'll videotape myself reading it. So
Okay, she'll
Okay.
videotape herself. We made it 2 seconds. She'll videotape herself reading it.
When is Megan not videotaping herself?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I wanna see one of those tapes. I don't believe they exist, but let's pretend like they do. What's that like? Tell me your scenario. What's she doing? Is she doing voices? Mommy was an actress.
Oh my goodness. And why would you like, why not just FaceTime? It's weird to say, like, if it's videotape, that means it's not happening in real time.
I didn't even think about that. You're absolutely right. It's so she can go back and watch the videos herself. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's true because FaceTime would put too much emphasis on the child's reaction. Like, do the voice again, mama, whatever. Versus if it's a recording, she's not interrupted. She can just talk and talk.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
and okay, so I just got so maybe let's take it at face value that what she's saying is the truth because maybe
Okay.
she messed up and she meant to say FaceTime, but
Maybe.
let's just say she really does videotape.
Hmm.
That means she's not at all concerned
Hmm.
to see the children's reaction to the story.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
She's more
weird.
concerned with her performance of than the way that they would react, which is that okay, so that's a Christmas gift basically where you don't care how your kid reacts, you care about how you wrap the present, whereas parenthood is usually the opposite. Like, I just want to see my child's face light up, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
oh gosh, that is scary, scary stuff. Okay, here goes.
whoever's with them, or Papa can say, "Here's Mom."
Yeah, you're
Sure.
right. She caught herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoever's with the papa can say. I find
And
it
how
ridiculous.
often is she traveling without her husband?
And she pretends like he's there. He's not there either.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. So whoever or Papa can say, yeah.
Reading your bedtime story. You find ways to show up for each other. And if that's the one thing that I can convey through the show.
Oh, that's the one thing, Meghan?
Yeah. That's not the thing she's conveying through the show is show up. She's not showing her family on the show. I know Has will show up later. I'm only 4 episodes in. I haven't seen him, thank goodness. But I'm saying that's not showing up for your family. You're conveying that how? By
And when
spending time making stupid projects? I don't.
Yeah,
Well,
and in no way is her show about showing up for people.
no, not
It's a
even a little bit.
Yeah, it's about elevating things, I thought.
Yeah. Put mint on their
Yeah.
heads. That'll elevate them right up. That's right. Oh, it's so ridiculous. Here goes.
Or through As Ever as a brand, I want people to know you can show up for each other because you know how good it feels when someone shows up for you.
That's the end of the clip. You know how good it feels when someone shows up for you.
And you would
Meghan?
do it through As Ever the brand. So
Yeah.
buy something, and that's you showing up for someone.
Yeah, totally. And you know who's really good at showing up for people? Meghan. She's not. She abandons everybody.
Yeah.
Friends, family. She
Yeah,
doesn't
ask
show
Gina
up.
Nelthorpe Cowan how often she showed up for her.
Ask either side of the family. Ask her dad. How's the showing up going?
Yeah, truly. Truly, that's such an odd she's weird.
She is weird. So and we're not doctors, we're not diagnosing. My question to you, in your opinion, does she believe the shit coming out of her mouth, or do you think she's just saying it?
So, I guess in the beginning when I was saying that it looked like she had Duper's delight, if she
Uh-huh.
had Duper's delight, she doesn't believe she knows what she's saying is not true.
Okay.
So, I think that portion because you either carried the book or you didn't, right?
Yeah.
So, that's something she would know the truth of versus showing up for people in her mind. I think she believes she shows up for people.
Absolutely. I think so too. I think so.
And it comes down to perception. Like some things, it either happened or it didn't. And other things, it's like, look how much I did for this person.
Mhm.
But the other person would be like, dude, you brought me a Coke or whatever, like.
Exactly. Do you want a cookie? Do you want a gold star? Yeah.
Or like when Meghan in the People magazine article, she said, like someone said, they didn't even know anybody there and they came to the party.
Yeah.
Friends do that. Like, why is the bar so low for Meghan showing up for people?
Exactly.
Why is
You're
she getting
exactly right.
applauded for going to a birthday?
Or reading your kid a bedtime story. Why is that an anecdote on a talk show?
Yeah.
Even if you're traveling a bunch, you make it work, you figure it out. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre. But yeah, thank you for reacting to that with me. Any final thoughts on that video that hit you? Or you feel good about that? I think.
I mean, it's time for us when we're done recording to go watch the full thing. I bet there's a
I
lot
know.
of tidbits in there.
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna say, please. Yeah, absolutely. I'm up for it. Oh my goodness. Well, then that transitions us. I just had a few questions. I just thought, if you don't mind, we could just talk a little bit about this outfit. No, I'm teasing. About with Love Meghan. I just brought a few pictures. I just thought we could talk, and I'd like to just get your just general thoughts. And if you're not sick of talking about it, I just want to know where your head's at and
Yeah,
talk
let's
through
do
it.
it.
So yeah, so I personally have just finished episode 4 right before we hit record. I finished recording my thoughts on that. Where are you in the series? Again, in real time, this just dropped yesterday. Where are you in the series?
I just finished the Delphina episode 4? That's the one I just finished.
Oh, okay. So we're at the exact same
Yeah.
spot. Perfect. Yes. So what are your general thoughts on With Love Meg? With Love Meghan. You gotta say it like that, right?
I know.
Breath
I know. Seriously.
Yeah.
So yesterday after finishing that episode, I threw up the white flag. I surrender. I
Oh,
can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. I give up.
okay.
I'm very easily entertained. Like, I don't think
Mhm.
there's a TV show I've watched that I haven't been like, it's interesting for this is the first time that I just can't. I don't have the energy to do it. I'm not the type of person to eye roll,
Oh,
but I catch myself doing eye rolls, like, over and over again.
that's funny. I
It's so
just
bad.
recorded my episode 4 and I said, "Guys, I'm getting eye strain from rolling my eyes so hard at this thing."
You know what's hilarious? Oh my gosh. So
Did you say?
yesterday I went to the eye doctor actually, and he he told me I had inflammation.
Oh!
I wonder if it's 'cause of all the eye.
It's too much, probably from the eye roll and the straining to see, like, I cannot be seeing that right. Yeah, I
He
gotcha.
was saying your eyes look, they're a little bit red, and he said it was allergies, but,
Uh-huh.
I watched 2 episodes of that show the
That's
night before.
right. Oh my gosh, yep, eye strain, I think so. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. So what has there been one episode that has just that's the worst to you? Or was it that one? Or is it just a general, it's just draining?
You know, what I noticed the most is as I'm watching it, I'm exhausted,
Okay.
and I'm exhausted for the people in the show. Like, even so I find myself asking, "Okay, how much are these people getting paid
Mhm.
that they're able to spend hours and hours, waiting for something to finish baking while they're over there making candles or whatever?" And I
Exactly.
also find myself asking, "How much is Megan getting paid for this?" And that gets me thinking, I wouldn't be asking that if she looked like she was truly enjoying herself. It looks and feels like work. And I
Yeah.
think that's why it's so exhausting watching it. Like,
Tedious. Yes.
yeah, like I
Uh-huh.
watch it and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'll never bake again. This is so tiring."
I think so too. I think you're spot on. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I just I can't believe how unnatural she seems with other people in every scenario. It's very forced, and I think that plays into what you're saying. So it makes it exhausting to watch, and it makes you wonder. Yeah, how much is she getting paid? What's going on? What is this?
Yeah, and you know what I found surprising though?
What's that?
I really liked that Daniel guy.
Did you?
I
Okay.
did.
Okay.
I liked him. And I also felt though that this is a guy that's manipulated.
Okay. Gotcha. So it's
So I
funny. Oh, go please, please, please. Uh-huh.
so basically I felt like he's probably a decent guy,
Okay.
but
Gotcha.
he's under her spell. And of course, there's financial benefits, right, to being, friends with Megan and all, like,
Mhm.
but putting all of that aside,
Okay.
he seems like a decent guy.
Okay. Gotcha. So I got the same vibe off Roy Choi. I actually found myself really liking that guy. And I thought if I have to go have a beer with one of these people, who am I picking? I'm picking him. But the reason I had trouble with the makeup artist because I did see him in another documentary that I watched, and he was so over the top up Megan's fill in the blank because even the other people in the documentary were pro Megan, but they would at least say something like, "I think she had a miss on the wedding day with the look or something," and he was like, "She's the most beautiful." I'm like, "Oh, like okay, chill." I just, but you might be right. Maybe it is that he's swept up in it. But I said, if anybody she's had on the show, he's got the most motivation to stay nice to her because he is employed by her, in some sense with when if he's her makeup artist, or I know they've been friends a long time, but if he's ever still makeup artistry for her, then he would
Mhm.
have an incentive most of all to be nice. Whereas Mindy Kaling has probably more money than Megan at this point, so she doesn't have to be nice, and whatever. But yeah. Hmm.
It's all just really weird relationships, like,
It is.
yeah.
Yeah, same vibe. Absolutely. I gotcha. Let's see. Has there been a Megan moment that has stuck out for you just in general that I don't one of these projects. Is there one of these projects that stuck out for you as just what? What are we doing? Or do they blur together?
They kind of blur together, but the one thing I noticed that I'm, like, screaming at my TV,
Uh-huh.
it's, "Meghan, chew with your mouth closed.
Okay.
Please, please,
Okay.
please don't eat on TV. It's not a good look, girl. I'm sorry."
That's funny. So, I do notice in the last episode that Delphine, or she came out Delphi, that it was a lot of hands and mouth, hair down, touching everything. I get really grossed out by stuff like that. I really do.
Yeah,
A lot of that
rightfully so. What
Mhm.
about you? Was there one thing that was, like, super exhausting to watch?
All of it, the overall thesis I keep putting out there is she's creating problems that don't exist and then creating solutions to problems that don't exist. Only because it's most recent in my head, and you and I kind of talked about it offline a little bit. That towel thing is so crazy to me to make this whole big deal about you take your towels, you dip them in your essential, you put them in the fridge, you roll them up, you put them in a bag, and who has time? I don't know about you, but I'm drowning.
Yeah, and for what purpose?
Exactly. If you came over to my house and you were a little bit warm, I would be like, "Oh, how about I turn down the air conditioning?" That's a probably, that's a reasonable response. "Oh, allow me to get these rolled up towels out of my fridge." You'd probably be like, "Thanks." Like, "Cool." It just becomes weird. It becomes tedious. You got too much time on your hands, Meg.
Yeah, seriously. Get a job, Megan.
Well, and then the first project she did, I figured would be some sort of recipe, but no, it was putting together bath salts. And again, as somebody, I love to take baths. I sometimes take more than one in a day and I use Epsom salt. It just feels great on my skin, so I do it. I buy it from the store. They even have ones with like vitamin C in it or like different scents. Done. 2 seconds and it's done. I don't need to spend 4 hours carefully scooping it into a container. That would stress me out and I'd need an Epsom salt bath. So I can't make
And
sense out of
and
it.
it's just weird that okay, first of all, who has guest rooms?
Seriously.
And that shows how disconnected she is.
Yes.
And the way she presents it
Uh-huh.
is, I want them to know I was thinking of them,
Yes.
not I want them to feel happy and comfortable in my home.
That's very true. That's right. She's the
Yeah.
center of the story once again. You're right. That's a good point. Very good point.
And
And
like
uh
okay, so if I went to someone's home
yes.
and I walked into and I was gonna be a guest in their home,
Uh-huh.
and I had my own bathroom that I could take baths in, and I had that nightstand, and there was food and stuff there, my assumption would be, "This person does not wanna spend time with me. They want me to eat in my room, and they want me to take baths, and just come out when you when
That's
you
so
need refills."
good. Or do I smell? Are they trying to tell me I need to go pee? Oh, no. Oh, no. Just kidding. That is such a good point. The other thing that just popped into my head that I didn't think of until right now, did you ever watch Friends?
I've I've watched it, like,
Okay.
sporadically.
That's okay. There was an episode where Monica had, what was it? It was Phoebe, I think, is a house guest, and she just kept coming in being like, "I made you some cookies. I made you a fresh bath. I did this for you. I did that." And it was just like, "Okay. All right, I'm good. Like, I just wanna lock the door," And Monica's like, "Why are you trying to lock the door?" It's like, "I just want a minute of calm."
I
It's
mean,
not
that's a
very relaxed.
boundary violation, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
right.
lack of boundaries,
That's
and
right.
it's just weird. I don't
Mhm.
know.
It is just weird. Is there a guest, that you found particularly grating or just pretty much all blur together or equal?
What do you mean by grading? Like,
Just annoying, like, I find Megan so annoying. Usually her guests I don't find as annoying because it's like a break from Megan, but I didn't know if there's one guest she had on that you thought was right there with Megan on the annoyingness factor.
Mindy, and
Me
it's so
too, me
sad.
too, me
Yeah,
too, yeah.
because I loved The Office. I
That's
still love The Office.
absolutely, yes. What
Like,
was it
what
about her?
happened?
Uh-huh.
Well, it was just so fake.
Mhm. I think so
So
too.
over the top, like, compliments that were not deserved, which means that it's fake. It's just sad to see that.
I agree.
And then
I totally
complimenting Megan on her look.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, girl.
Might need your eyes checked a little bit, Mindy. Yeah. Yeah, I can't make sense of that either. That's the first one where I actually had similar thoughts where you did. I hadn't thought about until you said it about how much is Megan getting paid. I wondered, did they pay her to show up on the show? Probably. I'm guessing. I don't know how any of that works. I know Megan and her have done collabs before, like through the podcast and stuff, Archwell, but do you think she had to have been paid like something to be on that show? She's not just doing it because
Yeah,
she's friends with Megan.
I wonder, I mean, that's what I was wondering
Mhm.
because I would need a vacation after that.
Yes, absolutely. And then behind the scenes, come to find out, on a red carpet, Mindy Kaling said she had just, I don't know if and it doesn't matter. I don't know if she had the baby or if it was surrogate, whatever. She just welcomed a new baby to her home. Um, like just like she's on maternity leave during this. And so she talked about it was kind of I felt like almost like a dig on the show. Like I was just happy to be welcome somewhere with a warm meal and it was something like that. Like basically I was deliriously tired because of the new baby. And so I wondered about that. I thought that was interesting. She did almost a dig afterwards. And also Megan goes around pretending to have this push for maternity leave for women. So I find that ironic that she would ask a friend to be on a show and she's not respecting a maternity leave. That's.
That is really interesting, and, we another example of Megan's hypocrisy,
Yes.
y she stands for women having paid maternity leave
Uh-huh.
until it impacts her bottom line.
That is very true.
I
That's
I
very
do wonder because they're both, well,
Mhm,
allegedly
mhm.
represented or were represented, right, by
Right.
WME. So I
Uh-huh.
wonder how much of that is, the people at WME are telling Mindy, "If you do this, we'll get you this."
That
So,
was exactly my next question to you. I wondered if that played a role. Go ahead. Uh-huh.
yeah, so if it may not be like exact, money changing hands, but it could be opportunities are
Mhm.
being passed around.
Mhm.
And there's also, aren't both of them, or aren't Harry and Mindy involved in Better Up?
They
Is that what
are.
it's called?
I believe so. I'm so bad. I know. I just can't care about Harry the same way I do her. So sometimes I mix up that stuff. I do believe you're right, and I do believe that Mindy has been I think it's been more recent, right, that we found out she was, I believe, involved in that.
Yeah, so they're,
Mm.
if
There's an
Mindy's
interest
invested it,
there.
yeah,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Yeah, because I can't imagine why else. Yeah. They just came off as looking foolish. And I'm all about some foolishness. When I get around my girlfriends, I want to have fun. I want to be silly. I'm not a serious person in general. It's just not my personality.
When the trailer came, this just got me thinking. When the
Yeah.
trailer came out and Mindy said, "This is the most glamorous event of my life," we
Mhm.
all assumed that was about the cake being cut, right? Because
Uh-huh.
at the moment she's saying that the cake is being cut, but
Yeah.
she was actually referring to the basket of jam, like,
Isn't
which
that
is so much worse.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I couldn't make sense of that either. Like,
So getting a basket of, rotting lemons and a
mhm.
jar of jam makes is glamorous? Yikes.
I ordered from High Grove previously, ordered some jam in. I mean, that was way more glamorous than this because there was no rotten lemons in my basket.
I did
Literally.
that too,
Oh,
Jen.
did you? That's
I did.
awesome.
I ordered the picnic basket.
My
Like it
laptop is sitting on the picnic basket right now. It says High Grove. That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, and I got it during Christmas time. So I got the Christmas tea and the Christmas jam. I went all out. Like I bought a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Good. And did you like it?
I love it. The
I do
tea. Oh
too.
my gosh.
So good.
So
Yes.
good.
I think I got, the strawberry and I got a bunch of stuff, but one of my favorite things I got was lemon curd.
I bought that too, but I haven't had it yet.
That is my favorite. It's so sugary, but, oh, it's so good. I would just take a little teaspoon and just kinda eat it.
I'll have to do that after we're done.
Yes, yes, and please let us know your thoughts on it. It's delicious, but good, that's amazing, that's funny. But yes, exactly, that actually is elevated, and that is a glamorous moment, but getting a Meghan Markle thing and if you're Mindy Kaling, I gotta figure people are sending you crap all the time, right? That's that
What
would
do
even be
you
the highlight of a week for her, you wouldn't think.
what do you think of Mindy? And I don't remember exactly what was said, but Mindy was talking about the order of the jams and how
Yeah.
that is potentially related to how important you might be in Megan's life. Like,
So
what do you think about that?
I have a theory, and this plays into this, and I've actually got it written down right here. Forgive me one second. I've got it because it's something I keep talking about, and we can go over this because I'm curious if you see it this way too. Right here. Okay. So each episode, in my opinion, she seems to be using her guest to clap back at the audience or the people or the haters, whatever you want to call them, the people that are rightfully and critiquing things about Meghan. She seems to be clapping back. So, in my opinion, that was another instance of her that she caught flack. Like, what's one of 50? Why, what's happening? And is she ranking people? She knows I think, in my opinion, she reads everything about herself, good and bad. So she knows that that's the thing people have criticized her about. This is her clapping back. What is your opinion on that?
My opinion is that I mean, I think she's a narcissist.
Uh-huh.
And I think the people that are under her spell might feel like they're competing for her attention.
That's
And
an interesting theory.
yeah, and I think literally when you're asking where was I in the order,
Okay.
she's basically asking where do I stand with you?
Oh, interesting.
So
That uh-huh.
that's what I think. And I think yeah, and this is what I've noticed in the with the narcissists in my life is they they create division among all the people around them, and
Mhm.
then everybody's competing for that one person's attention.
Wow. That is an excellent theory. I think you're onto something because then that would go with why only certain ones responded online. Maybe the ones competing are the ones that responded because they seem
Mhm.
to be the particularly, how do I say that nicely, kiss assy ones, right? Like your Abigails and your Mindys and things like that that are just over the top for Megan that would care about the ranking system. That's
It could be
interesting.
another way of putting people in their place too.
Interesting,
Yeah,
interesting. I
because 'cause I've
just
known narcissists that do that. And
oh,
it's very, like, gaslighty, right? Because,
yeah.
like, look at so I really think it's a possibility.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
something.
I would say 95%, I'm pretty sure
Uh-huh.
it was some sort of ranking with her friends, like, she was sending a message, but then when she talks about it, this
Mhm.
is the type of reaction you would get from a narcissist when you confront them about something. They always have a way of like, "No, I
No.
didn't."
Yeah. Oops, sorry. Okay. I thought I clicked the wrong button, but yeah. No. What are you talking about? I wouldn't do that. No. I have facial expressions of her up like,
No.
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 Never. I wouldn't smile for the camera. No. But yo, I think you're right. I think you're spot on. That's such an interesting thought. Well, if you don't mind, since you nailed that one, I've brought with me my theories from each episode. Can I run them past you really quick? Because I think she has a message in each one.
Yeah,
She's
let's do
clapping
it.
back
This
at.
sounds fun, yeah.
Yeah. So episode 1, in my opinion, and I apologize because I apologize to the watchers here, the flockers, because for some reason I cannot remember that guy's name's Daniel. It's not on
Daniel.
purpose. I keep calling him Kevin. I don't know why. So in my other videos, I had one of my friends message me this morning. She's like, you know that makeup guy's name's Daniel, right? And I'm like, oh shoot, I think I called him Kevin. I don't know why. Anyway, Daniel. All right. So Daniel's episode, the first episode, is my theory is it's Meghan, you're a hard worker, because that's what he literally says to her. You're a hard worker. She's often criticized, she and her husband both, for being lazy, blanking grifters. Grifter comes up a lot. So Meghan, you're a hard worker. If you had to pick, I know I'm putting you on a spot, so you can take a minute to think, is there an overall thing that you can think of, and it's okay if it's not, that you felt like was a clap back at people from the first episode, or do they blend together?
I do have one, but before I
Okay.
say it, what
Yeah.
you just said reminded me of one of our first collabs together.
Oh,
And I had those fun hypothetical questions at the end. And one of the ones I asked you was if Harry and Meghan had a reality show,
uh-huh,
what would it be called? Do you
uh-huh.
remember what you said?
I don't. Was it lazy blanking grifters?
It was don't make us do stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That was off the top of my head. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Don't make us do stuff.
Good memory. There you go. That's right. Working is hard. Don't make us do stuff. That's right. So she has to clap back with, I'm a hard worker. But if she has her friends say it, then she thinks it's, well, I'm not saying that. My friend can clearly see it. I'm a hard worker. So, yeah.
I feel maybe the first one is and now this is off of my memory.
That's okay. I'm putting you on the spot. I apologize. I should have given you time to think about this.
I think it's I take care of people.
Oh.
And, we start off with those bath salts, but
Mhm.
one of the things that's standing out to me is, I was about to say Kevin.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. I can tell you why, though. I just realized there's a very famous makeup artist named Kevin that I think I have his book somewhere. They would teach you how to do, like, for your skin tone is different. So I think that's why makeup artist, I think of Kevin. Anyway, continue.
Where Daniel, he cuts his finger,
Oh, yes.
and she immediately is like, "Well, let's get you a yeah,
Mhm.
so I feel maybe there was a little bit of that too. I take care
Okay.
of people.
I take care of people. Do you think that that was a genuine cut on the hand, or you think that that was something that they staged so she could instantly spring to action? Or do you
To be honest,
Mhm.
I thought that was really gross, and I
Uh,
don't know why they didn't even clip that out.
I don't get it either.
And actually that goes hand in hand with because the messaging is I take care of people.
I take care of people, that's true.
So I
And
think it was a genuine cut.
uh-huh, I think so. I think so too. But, yeah, I think, and it will show she seems to be going for the perfectly imperfect, because, like, scenes with the crew and stuff, so I wonder if it's partial if that's why they didn't cut it, but I felt like it was gross too, and they should have cut it out,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know why they put that in there. I mean, if it was me, I would have edited that out.
I would have too. Yeah, it's kinda gross. Episode 2, Mindy Kaling, my clap back on this, in my opinion, is she had, whether it's Mindy idea or hers, she had Mindy saying, "Oh, girl, I just love your fashion." I said, "No one ever." And so I felt like that was very much everybody talks about how she constantly misses with the fashion, and in this show, really missing pants to this area, beige, all the stuff, all the things, wrinkled, messy, cooking in beige, like you can. Um, but I feel like that was a Meg, I love your fashion episode. Again, sorry to put you on the spot off the top of your head. Is there something that struck you from that Mindy Kaling episode as a clapback?
So I think that episode, the first thing I thought of was people like me.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
And the other really big moment I feel in that
Mhm.
show was my last name is Sussex.
Yes.
So
What was
that
uh-huh.
that was very I don't know. I mean,
Go
she
for it. What's
literally
your
clapped
opinion?
back
Yeah.
immediately.
Okay.
The
I
other
thought that was
thing
rude how she spoke to her quote unquote friend about this. If you ask me, "Hey, is your last name Show?" I'm not gonna be like, "Ugh, we have discussed this." I'm like, "Oh, no, remember, it's cringing, not Show," whatever.
well, that's a I mean, that could be considered and I could be completely wrong about this, but it's like narcissistic injury, right?
Oh,
Because and and I think a couple of months ago, Jen, you and I did another collab, and I was telling you that I feel like all the articles that are coming out, they're trying to drop the name Markle. She's
yes.
trying to go by Meghan,
Mhm.
and this is this is exactly why,
Okay.
right? Like, she doesn't want to be known as Meghan Markle anymore.
She just
Little does she know she'll always be known as Meghan Markle.
always.
Um,
Mhm.
and I was gonna say something else about this, I forget. Oh, another thing about that episode was I'm a good mom, right?
Yes.
Because it was a lot about children's birthdays.
Absolutely, yes. But I will tell you to take that a step further. God, I sound like me. I was about to say, as a mother, and every kid's different. I'm not speaking for all moms, all parents, anything like that. But I have spoken to some of my friends who are watching this who are also parents. And I just scratch my head a lot and say, what? My kid would be like, where's my sandwich? Like, what is this crap? I don't want crudité. Like, like she's just it's so fantastical how she speaks of being a mom. It doesn't seem realistic to me. It's like being a Pinterest mom, being versus being in the trenches covered in, whatever. She talked about packing spaghetti in her kid's lunchbox.
Eye
That's
roll.
I know. I'm just like, my kid is older than her kids. My kid is still in the single digits. So I know that if I pack spaghetti in my kid's lunchbox, it's everywhere. No lunch lady's gonna wanna help her heat it up. It's a nightmare for them. It's a nightmare for her. It's a nightmare for me. I'm not doing that. What
Just
world did
stick to
she live in?
Lunchables.
Yes, exactly. I'm lucky if my kid gets a fruit roll up. It's just what you do as a parent. As long as my kid's fed, it's fine. But I'm saying like it's just not realistic. A lot of things that fall under that category. Not realistic and not showing me that you're an actual parent. You're a fun aunt. You're not an actual parent.
Yeah, it's really when I think about putting things in lunch boxes,
Mhm.
pasta is not not on that list. Especially okay, I would understand if it's like the twist. I don't cook, okay, so
Yeah, I don't
but
either.
if it's
Yeah.
like the twisty pasta where, it's
Yes,
not long and, mm, you
that's
know
it. Mhm. That's funny. My friend literally answered exactly that. She's like, "Well, sometimes it's send a little spiral pasta." I'm like, "Yeah, the kid can pick it up with its hand if it wants, whatever. That's fine. That makes sense to me. The spaghetti doesn't make any sense. No, and covered in greens and stuff. I'm sorry, and I can get my kid to eat some broccoli, so it's not all greens, but just greenery that's cooked. Most kids are gonna be like, oh, no."
None of those dishes looked appetizing to me.
Oh, I've been speaking to a chef separately about this and that's exactly it. He's going over all the ways where she's ruining all these dishes and I don't cook, so I have no idea, but it's interesting. Yeah. I think
Actually, the Roy Choi one looked good.
that's what I said. And I said, I want to eat that fried chicken. It's the only sorry, it's the only thing I want to eat. And it's because a chef made it.
Yeah, and I bet when we get to the other chef that's on it, because we saw
Mhm.
a clip of that one looked good too.
Yes.
But it was only like, what, a minute of a clip,
Yes.
so
Exactly. You never know. But yeah. But again, I go to that's because Megan's not making it. It's a trained chef.
yeah. Can you imagine eating vegetables and turning around and saying, "I'm gonna gain so much weight from this"?
It's so crazy, yes. We worked out hard so we can do that. She basically said that, and I was like, I thought we were supposed to drop that mentality. But even if so, I mean, real talk, it's something I'd probably, you know what I mean? Like, I probably shouldn't say it, but I'd probably say it. So I'm not even going to falter there. But it's a weird thing to say on camera and about vegetables and dips. Yeah, I thought the same thing. Very odd. And then let's see, you had me. on that. I want to talk about that Roy Choi thing, but before I get there, let me go episode 3, same episode, Roy Choi. The thesis to me seemed to be, Meg, I'm a fan of yours, because I really like the guy, but I felt weird when he said that. Meg, I'm such a fan. I can't believe I'm on your radar. He's a famous chef. I don't know much about chefs, but I had heard of him before. You know?
Oh
What are
my
your thoughts
gosh,
on that?
Jen, I have it, and I think it's legit.
Okay.
I'm an LA girl.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay, talk to me about that.
She starts off, we're both from LA.
Yes.
And she starts talking about when people think about LA, they think about this, this, this. And I'm like, girl, I'm from LA.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
I grew up
interesting.
in those areas.
Okay, uh-huh.
But she kept reinforcing, you remember Yum Yum Donuts on the corner of Franklin and whatever? And remember we would go to this place, whatever, whatever. And why? You know why she'd do that?
To remind everybody she's from the area and to play back into the fires thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Granted, though, this was recorded
Mhm.
a long time before. And so maybe that's why she felt it fits in with her brand to be there for, and you know what? I bet this is it. She knew she had an episode where she's talking about an LA girl. So
Yeah.
she thought, "Oh my gosh, this makes so much sense," because there were people saying she was damned if she did and damned if she didn't. And
Mhm.
I always wondered, why would anyone say she was damned if she didn't? It's because in this episode, she talks about being an LA girl. So she didn't want people to clap back and being like, if you're an LA girl, why weren't you there for the fires?
Oh, interesting. But you would think, though, by not she'd never think like this. I was gonna say, then you don't go do what she did, and then you just maybe edit this episode a little differently. She would never. She's gotta make herself the center of attention. What am I thinking?
Yeah. And like that entire episode rested on we're from the same area.
Yes. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, very much. I'm surprised she didn't have her stupid LA hat on. But you know what really bothered me about that episode is that he to me just I like the guy. I thought he was very likable, very personable. I wanted to eat his food. He seemed like a fun one just to, hang out in the kitchen with. And I was genuinely interested in hearing what he had to say. She kept cutting him off, and she would, instead of ask him, "Hey, explain to me about being Korean and living, your experience being Korean American and all this stuff." She cut him off when he started to talk about that and explain to him about her friend's experience being Korean American. And I thought, you have somebody there. It's like me explaining to you California. I've never been there, but I'm going to explain it to you. Or I could ask you, who's born and raised there, "Hey, what's it like? Tell me about that. Tell me about your experience," whatever. I just found that so obnoxious. And that's so Megan. I don't know why I'm surprised.
She's not an active listener.
No, no, not at all.
Like she's one of those people that's formulating their response before
Mhm.
you've even finished talking. And granted, a lot of us do that. So I try to be conscious of that myself, but I don't think Megan even cares.
I do that too. I know, because it's more of nerves of, oh God, I hope I don't sound like an idiot when I ask the next question. But I get what you're saying. I think it's different with her. I think it's me, 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 me.
Yeah, perfect.
But wow, yeah. Um, yeah. What was your? Oh, yeah. You said the LA thing is the overall. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think you're spot on that. And then the fourth episode, I hadn't really. I'm trying to think. I hadn't written that one out because I just recorded. What's her clap back on this one? The speaking Spanish. Why did Megan need a translator if she spoke Spanish and speaking Spanish and the living in Argentina, United Nations of it all? I think that was the clap back there, maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally see that because at the end they did drink that Argentinian tea and she talked about the culture and everything a lot.
She did.
Um,
Yes. And how it was like, I noticed in Argentina you speak a different way. It's like flowy, like, and I just thought, this is weird. This is a weird flex.
Another thing I think that may have been the message of that show is we have couple friends.
Okay.
because they showed them hiking with all 4 of them, right, with Nacho and Harry, and then there was a moment where, Meghan said something like, "Oh, well, the boys aren't gonna get to eat this food." She said boys, right?
She
So
said
she
boys several times. Yes, uh-huh.
boys.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, the last time I heard someone refer to children as boys,
Mhm.
it's those brothers that are in prison right now.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know why
Menendez,
that's what
yeah.
came to me.
Somebody else just compared her to a Menendez because they wore the sweaters the way she did. I guess
Yeah.
I don't know if they wore to court like that or what, the way she wore 'em on her shoulders like that, and somebody said she looks like one of the brothers.
I I would be so annoyed with that, like, hanging over me.
Oh, me too. And it
It's like
just seems impractical in a kitchen.
yeah, and then when she does the thing with the coat too,
Oh,
put your arms in the sleeve,
yes.
please.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's just things like that that bug me. That's interesting. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so is that your thinking too on the theme though that you think it's clapping back on the Spanish Argentinian or do you think there's
I definitely see that 100%, and I think
Oh, you said and then couple friends. That's right. That's
the
right.
couple friends, and it's,
And
I
maybe
was watching.
girlfriends too because she keeps saying we're good friends. We hike, we're friends, we do this.
Yeah.
Mhm. Sorry, you
And
said
she
you were
did
looking
show
at
the
something.
dog,
Oh,
Priya a
yes.
lot.
The dog. I forgot about that. Yeah, absolutely. Ugh.
Oh, that bothered me.
Yes.
I
Me too.
actually, so I had a senior dog.
Okay.
I had her since she was a puppy, and she actually passed away almost a year ago. March 8th, it'll be a year. So
Sorry.
when I was watching that episode and watching her interactions with Guy, that it really triggered me.
Oh.
And I mean, and it didn't trigger me in that I don't think she cares for Guy. I think it
Mm.
triggered me because I was like, I know this dog is going to pass away. So
Okay.
it was hard for me to watch that.
I'm sure.
However,
Uh-huh.
it's a great manipulation tool, isn't it?
It is. Yes, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Mm. Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
that part bothered me.
And I think that's a clap back though too about because both Harry and Meghan have had accusations of not being the nicest to animals, whether it's the casts on her animals or don't even get me started on the polo horses, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So I think that's also a clap back in that sense too. I really think this whole every show is designed to silence the critics or the haters or whatever the squad is calling us now. No, people with valid criticisms. Yeah. I think it's just
She's just like that, right? Like, she wants to have the last word.
that's
And
it.
it's like, "Girl, but we still get to respond."
That's it. I totally agree with you. I agree completely. My goodness. Well, as we wrap this up, did you have any more thoughts overall on the series? Do you think you're done with the series or you think you'll keep going or you think you've had enough?
I watched a few minutes of the 5th episode,
Okay.
and this is the one where there's several women.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how much of that I can tolerate, I'll be real. Like, to have like, it's one thing to have one person fawning all over Megan, but to have 3 other people? I don't know. I don't know if I'll survive it.
That's what I have up next on my agenda after we're done recording. So pray for me here.
Yeah, good luck. I'm sending you well wishes and strength.
Thank you.
And patience, lots of patience.
I'm headed over to your channel to watch every one of your videos to put me in a better headspace than to I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh, thank you for that. Any final thoughts as we wrap up? Anything else I didn't ask about that you want to get off your chest as far as this show goes or anything else?
No, I had a really great time, and why don't
Um,
we do another collab when we watch all okay, so now I guess I am watching all of them.
My
Im
thoughts and prayers are with you as well. Go ahead.
I can't guarantee it's gonna happen soon.
Okay.
It takes
That's
time
okay.
to digest this stuff, but yeah,
That's
let's
right.
get together and talk about the last 4, and I really like how you're, looking at the thesis of each episode,
Thank you.
and now yeah, and now when I watch them, I'll keep
Mhm.
that in mind.
Perfect. I would love that. We'll circle back and talk about it. You just always have the best approach to things. You bring up things that I didn't even think about. Even in the thesis part, you really do a great job with this. So thank you so much. You add so much to the conversation, and it's always a pleasure to work with you. And again, how can we support you? We'll go watch your fawn video, of course. Are there any other videos that we're happy to support or that you'd like us to watch, or just whatever's the latest?
Just whatever's the latest. Yeah, I appreciate, everyone coming over, and it's been so overwhelming, and I just love this community. And thank you so much, Jen, because anytime you mention or talk about me, or you're the people that are your flock. They trust your opinion.
Oh,
And I'm so thankful. You are one of the first people that I was a fan of that followed me on X.
oh my gosh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
so it's just, I don't know, it's surreal to be talking to you. And
Oh,
yeah, I just thank you so much. And I just love that um you'll ask me to show a video, and every time I'm like, "Please do." Like,
oh,
I appreciate it so much because it's validation that what I'm seeing, it's not just me, like, other people see it too.
aw, well, you are lovely and so kind. I never you put so much work into everything you do. I would never wanna take anything without your permission and just make sure you're okay with it and all that. So thank you for always being so gracious about it and allowing me to use your stuff when I do. So thank you. I appreciate that. And it's a pleasure to see you grow the way you have, and I big things are in store for you. I know it. I can see it. So thank you for everything, and I can't wait to collab again. And in real time, we're about to go record for your channel. So guys, go check out our video. It'll be up very soon, I'm sure. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jen. Thanks
All
for
right,
having me.
anytime. Have the best day. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye.
Bye.